Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 7, Book 67, number 406. Narrated by Rafi bin Khadij. We were with the Prophet in Dhul Hulayfa, and there the people were struck with severe hunger. Then we got camels and sheep as war booty, and slaughtered them. The Prophet was behind all the people. The people hurried and fixed the cooking pots, for cooking. But the Prophet came there and ordered that the cooking pots be turned upside down. Then he distributed the animals, regarding 10 sheep as equal to 1 camel. One of the camels ran away, and there were a few horses with the people. They chased the camel, but they got tired, whereupon a man shot it with an arrow, whereby Allah stopped it. The Prophet said, "Among these animals some are as wild beasts, so if one of them runs away from you, treat it in this way." I said, "We hope, or we are afraid that tomorrow we will meet the enemy and we have no knives. Shall we slaughter our animals with canes?" The Prophet said, "If the killing tool causes blood to gush out and if Allah's name is mentioned, eat of the slaughterer animal. But do not slaughter with a tooth or a nail. I am telling you why. A tooth is a bone, and the nail is the knife of Ethiopians." Volume 7, Book 67, number 407. Narrated by Abdullah. Allah's apostle said that he met Zaid bin Amr Nufail at a place near Balda, and this had happened before Allah's apostle received the divine inspiration. Allah's apostle presented a dish of meat that had been offered to him by the pagans to Zaid bin Amr, but Zaid refused to eat of it and then said to the pagans, "I do not eat of what you slaughter on your stone altars, ansabs, nor do I eat except that on which Allah's name has been mentioned on slaughtering." Volume 7, Book 67, number 408. Narrated by Jundub bin Sufyan al-Bajali. Once during the lifetime of Allah's apostle we offered some animals as sacrifices. Some people slaughtered their sacrifices before the Eid prayer, so when the Prophet finished his prayer, he saw that they had slaughtered their sacrifices before the prayer. He said, "Whoever has slaughtered his sacrifice before the prayer should slaughter another sacrifice in lieu of it, and whoever has not yet slaughtered it till we have prayed should slaughter it by mentioning Allah's name." Volume 7, Book 67, number 409. Narrated by Kabir that a slave girl of theirs used to shepherd some sheep at Sia, a mountain near Medina. On seeing one of her sheep dying, she broke a stone and slaughtered it. Kabir said to his family, "Do not eat of it till I go to the Prophet and ask him, or till I send someone to ask him." So he went to the Prophet or sent someone to him. The Prophet permitted them to eat it. Volume 7, Book 67, number 410. Narrated by Abdullah that Kabir had a slave girl who used to graze his sheep on a small mountain, called Slah, situated near the market. Once a sheep was dying, so she broke a stone and slaughtered it with it. When they mentioned that to the Prophet, he permitted them to eat it. Volume 7, Book 67, number 411. Narrated by Rafi bin Khadij that he said, "O Allah's apostle, we have no knife." The Prophet said, "If the killing tool causes blood to gush out, and if Allah's name is mentioned, eat of the slaughtered animal." But do not slaughter with a nail or a tooth, for the nail is the knife of Ethiopians and a tooth is a bone. Suddenly a camel ran away and it was stopped, with an arrow. The Prophet then said, "Of these camels there are some which are as wild beasts. So if one of them runs away from you and you cannot catch it, treat it in this manner, i.e. shoot it with an arrow." Volume 7, Book 67, number 412. Narrated by Kabib bin Malik. A lady slaughtered a sheep with a stone and then the Prophet was asked about it and he permitted it to be eaten. Volume 7, Book 67, number 413. Narrated by Mu'a bin Sa'd or Sa'd bin Mu'a. A slave girl belonging to Kabir used to graze some sheep at Sla mountain. Once one of her sheep was dying. She reached it, before it died, and slaughtered it with a stone. The Prophet was asked, and he said, "Eat it." Volume 7, Book 67, number 414. Narrated by Rafi bin Khadij. The Prophet said, "Eat what is slaughtered, with any instrument, that makes blood flow out, except what is slaughtered with a tooth or a nail." Volume 7, Book 67, number 415. Narrated by Aisha. A group of people said to the Prophet, "Some people bring us meat and we do not know whether they have mentioned Allah's name or not on slaughtering the animal." He said, "Mention Allah's name on it and eat." Those people had embraced Islam recently. Volume 7, Book 67, number 416. Narrated by Abdullah bin Mughaffal. While we were besieging the castle of Khaybar, somebody threw a skin full of fat and I went ahead to take it, but on looking behind, I saw the Prophet and I felt shy in his presence, and did not take it. Volume 7, Book 67, number 417. Narrated by Rafi bin Khadij. I said, "O Allah's Apostle, we are going to face the enemy tomorrow and we do not have knives." He said, "Hurry up, in killing the animal. If the killing tool causes blood to flow out, and if Allah's name is mentioned, eat of the slaughtered animal. But do not slaughter with a tooth or a nail. I will tell you why. As for the tooth, it is a bone, and as for the nail, it is the knife of Ethiopians. Then we got some camels and sheep as war booty, and one of those camels ran away, whereupon a man shot it with an arrow and stopped it." Allah's Apostle said, "Of these camels there are some which are as wild beasts, so if one of them runs away and makes you tired, treat it in this manner." Volume 7, Book 67, number 418. Narrated by Asma bint Abu Bakr. We slaughtered a horse, by Nar, during the lifetime of the Prophet and ate it. Volume 7, Book 67, number 419. Narrated by Asma. We slaughtered a horse, by Dav, during the lifetime of Allah's Apostle while we were at Medina, and we ate it. Volume 7, Book 67, number 420. Narrated by Asma bint Abu Bakr. We slaughtered a horse, by Nar, during the lifetime of Allah's Apostle and ate it. Volume 7, Book 67, number 421. Narrated by Hisham bin Zaid. Anas and I went to Al-Hakam bin Ayub. Anas saw some boys shooting at a tied hen. Anas said, "The Prophet has forbidden the shooting of tied or confined animals." Volume 7, Book 67, number 422. Narrated by Ibn Umar that he entered upon Yahya bin said while one of Yahya's sons was aiming at a hen after tying it. Ibn Umar walked to it and untied it. Then he brought it and the boy and said, "Prevent your boys from tying the birds for the sake of killing them, as I have heard the Prophet forbidding the killing of an animal or other living thing after tying them." Volume 7, Book 67, number 423, narrated by Said bin Jubayr, "While I was with Ibn Umar, we passed by a group of young men who had tied a hen and started shooting at it. When they saw Ibn Umar, they dispersed, leaving it. On that Ibn Umar said, 'Who has done this?' The Prophet cursed the one who did so.